Mira allá, mira el quemado.
Less than 24 hours ago, the Trump administration launched a large-scale strike in Venezuela, seizing President Nicolás Maduro. Welcome to 12 News at 10. I'm Chase Golightly. New video just within the last few hours after Nicolás Maduro and his wife touched down in New York. You can see in the video he was walked inside the DEA office in Manhattan. He was then processed with fingerprints and photos. Emotions running high across the world after Maduro's capture. Many people in other countries are celebrating the fall of the dictator. In Colombia, Peru, and other countries, people celebrated in the streets. In Miami, demonstrators were elated.
After years without any good news regarding our country, this feels like the light at the end of the tunnel.
We're very hopeful. There's still a lot of work that needs to get done, but we're still extremely excited and hopeful, and praise God that finally justice is coming.
But that wasn't the sentiment for others in the U.S. We're hearing mixed reactions across the valley about the U.S. operation in Venezuela. Some Arizonans are protesting the strikes like you saw there, while others are praising the U.S. for their actions. 12 News journalist David Chazanov joins us live in studio after hearing from both sides of the argument tonight. And David, it really is a controversial situation here.
Yeah, it really is, Chase. Good evening. So the Secretary of Casa Venezuela, Arizona, says what the U.S. did was an extraction, not an attack. But dozens of people were still out in Phoenix this afternoon protesting what they're calling a war.
Stop this war before it starts!
Stop this war before it starts!
I don't want this war. I did not vote for this.
On Saturday afternoon, Arizonans of all ages gathered at the Wesley Bowen Memorial Plaza in Phoenix to chant against the U.S. strikes.
No more planes and boat attacks!
No more planes and boat attacks!
Honestly, I was in shock. It felt like I was taken back to 2003 when George Bush had broke the news about the Iraq War.
The group also marched to the Arizona state capitol.
The people united!
I would just say not in our name, not in the American people's name, not in the name of freedom or democracy. This is a war for the rich.
Though not everyone feels that way. Jose Ferrero with Casa Venezuela, Arizona says what the U.S. did was an extraction, not an attack.
This is one of the steps to get proper transition to real democracy and liberty and justice.
Ferrero says for 2 years, many Venezuelans didn't believe Nicolás Maduro deserved to be president.
Edmundo González Urrutia, he won by a landslide, like 7 million votes against 2 or 3 million votes from Maduro. We kept saying Maduro is the president of Venezuela, but for us Venezuelans, we know he's not the president of Venezuela. I mean, he just stole that election in 2024.
Ferrero believes the actions made by the U.S. can lead to a proper transition of power in Venezuela for the first time in more than a decade.
And what we're seeing right now today is probably a restoration of the people's will.
And demonstrations didn't just happen here in Arizona. There were also movements in more than 100 cities across the country. The Answer Coalition, we're told, is hosting a webinar tomorrow to build what they call an anti-war movement. In studio, David Chazanov, 12 News.
David, thanks.